People in 2 malls in our country have been attacked over the last week, and the latest has left 5 people dead. A manhunt is underway in Washington State where authorities are searching for a gunman believed to be this man who shot and killed 5 people at a mall in the town of Burlington, just over 60 miles north of Seattle on Friday night. At a news conference this morning, the FBI said there is no indication the shooting was a terrorist act. The gunman killed 4 females and 1 male at the Cascade Mall Friday night. Authorities say the victims' ages range from teens to seniors, and the gunman left the mall on foot. At this point in the investigation, not much is known about the man. Investigators believe he is behind the shootings.
More information is unfolding. I don't know what his motivations were. I don't know what his motivations was to do this. I don't know what his motivations was to continue. I don't know what his motivations was to stop. But I certainly plan to find out through the investigation.
This was a senseless act. It was the world knocking on our doorstep, and it came to our little community here. And we had a tremendous response from our first responders. I want to thank everybody that responded, 26 agencies, almost 200 individuals. And they did a fantastic job securing that scene, getting people out that were in danger.
This was an all too familiar scene for people in our area. Last Saturday in St. Cloud, a man that's now dead went to a mall and stabbed almost a dozen people. No one died besides the stabber, and authorities have been hesitant to call it terrorism. However, the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force is investigating the incident to determine if it indeed was terrorism. ISIS claimed responsibility for the attack soon after calling the now dead stabber a soldier of the Islamic State. These incidents have created a sense of uneasiness for shoppers everywhere, but especially in our region. Shoppers tell us they're paying more attention to their surroundings and hope the mall has measures in place to help protect them if the unthinkable happens.
You know, here we've been fortunate. We primarily deal with petty offenses like shoplifting, trespassing, those types of things. But as I mentioned, we do prepare for more serious situations. There are a lot of things that go on behind the scenes that people don't realize.
Shoot him. Don't shoot him.
This on fire on the flames down in Charlotte, where protesters have taken to the streets over several days, protesting the death of Keith Scott. The disturbing video shot by his wife doesn't show the shooting, but gunshots can be heard. She says Scott didn't have a gun, but authorities say he was absolutely in possession of one. The family's lawyer says they released the video with hopes of gathering more facts about the case.
United, we'll never be defeated.
Another tense night in the center city of Charlotte. Emotions running high, bringing hundreds out for a 4th time, all while police in riot gear joined by the National Guard try to keep peace. And for the most part, it works, keeping marchers in one instance off of 277 in attempts to shut down the interstate.
Don't shoot him.
The release of this dramatic cell phone video is fueling new anger, even outside Charlotte, with demonstrations like this one at NC State of students marching and lying on the ground, and this rally in Atlanta.
He doesn't have a gun. He has a TBI. He's not going to do anything to you guys. He just took his medicine.
Scott's wife rushes to the scene, telling officers her husband has a traumatic brain injury. She screams at her husband.
Keith, don't you do it. Don't you do it. Keith!
Seconds later, shots ring out.
Do it. Did you shoot him?
The video difficult to watch with no clear view of a gun. Keith Scott is on the ground.
My gut reaction was pure sadness for anyone to have to go through that.
And now protesters call out again for body and dashcam video.
Release!
Cries echoed by Charlotte's mayor, which she says will come in time.
I have asked to have that released, and I understand that it is not a complete picture.
Don't shoot!
A picture coming into focus as the investigation continues. Sarah Rosario, NBC News, Charlotte.
Authorities say they plan to release body cam video of the incident along with details as to why they approached Scott later this evening. We'll have that information for you online and on Valley News Live at 9 and 10. Let's get a look at the forecast expected for this evening and the rest of the weekend. Justin?
Yeah, thank you, Cornelius, and good evening, everybody. Yeah, we were warm today, even under varying degrees of cloud cover. We had that nice southerly wind, and there was moisture in the air at 75 degrees right now. Fargo, Jamestown, out toward Bemidji at 64. But the cooler air is on the way out toward Williston, only at 55 degrees right now. We are tracking some rain showers just to the north and to the west of the Grand Forks area, down toward the Valley City area. Some rain showers also, but the main batch of some showers and thunderstorms now into the Wabaton-Breckenridge area, and as you approach Fergus Falls and the Rothsay area. Good news is we're not seeing a lot of severe criteria, no real hail from this one, and the wind gusts should, you could see some wind gusts out there, especially as you make your way just off to the west of the Fergus Falls area, but they should remain below the severe criteria of 60 miles per hour. As we go through the rest of the evening, we will see a chance of some showers and thunderstorms dissipating during the overnight, and temperatures will fall through the 70s into the upper 60s by tonight. We're looking at a really nice week ahead. By midweek, sunshine and warm temperatures. We'll have the details coming up later in the newscast.
Thank you so much, Justin. The Cass County Sheriff's Office tells us they're still looking for the body of a missing woman out of the Minneapolis area. 45-year-old Michelle Newell was last seen or heard from on August 28th. They've linked her death to Timothy Barr. He's from Lakeville, Minnesota. He's been charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder without intent. An investigator told us last night one of the last areas they had phone contact with the Barr was north of Emden, North Dakota. That was on August 31st before Newell was reported missing. They say her body may have been left in an abandoned barn or farm building. Investigators are asking people with barns or outbuildings on their property to check for anything unusual. You can also tell police about any buildings you believe should be checked. The mayors of Fargo, West Fargo, Moorhead, and Dilworth are forming a Blue Ribbon Commission on addiction to address substance abuse. The goal of the mayor's Blue Ribbon Commission is to take actions aimed at ending the addiction epidemic. It will encompass a range of public health and public safety strategies spanning from prevention and early identification to treatment and recovery. The first conference will be held this Monday at West Fargo City Hall at 9 a.m. People protesting the Dakota Access Pipeline say they feel betrayed. Private land adjoining the protest area to Dakota Access was recently sold for an estimated $18 million, according to NBC News. The Dakota Access Pipeline now owns the Cannonball Ranch, where there are known and unknown burial grounds. This puts additional mapping of spiritual sites essential to tribal identity in jeopardy, according to tribal spokespeople. Native Americans everywhere say they're protesting this pipeline to protect the water for their future generations. Construction on the pipeline has been halted since September 16th. A federal appeals court says they need more time to assess the situation. Still to come on Valley News Live at 6. It looks like a typical fall festival, but there's something special about it. But first, Justin's going to tell you about your weekend forecast. Justin?
And a high of 80 in Fargo, well above our normal high of 67. We're dry so far, but that will change as we go through this evening. Details coming up.